Hello, welcome back to the one, the only Welsh Watch podcast. And today we have a special one for you. At 1 o'clock, the squad was announced for the 3 games coming up at the end of the month. And we're just going to give you a quick rundown of what we think, some of the players that are in, which we might not agree with, might have some arguments here. Who knows? Might not be a podcast at the end of this if there are big arguments. And just the ones that have been left out, really. So I'm Ben Thomas, I'm your host. I'm joined by Lee. Say hello.
Hello.
Tom.
Hi.
Jack.
Hello.
And Ben Evans.
Nice.
So we're just going to start off with the big news. Yesterday, there was a rumour that Aaron Ramsey was unfit and would not be playing in the games. That's wrong. It must have been a small knock, and he is included. So with that, I'm just going to read you out the full squad. Why not? So let's start with the 4 goalkeepers. We got Wayne Hennessy, Danny Ward, Adam Davis, Tom King. Defenders, we got Nico Williams, Reece Norrington Davis, Connor Roberts, Ben Cabango, Chris Gunter, Ben Davis, Joe Ronan, Chris Mentham, James Lawrence, Tom Lockyer. Then we'll move on to the midfield. We got Joe Allen, Joe Morrell, Dylan Levitt, Ethan Ampadu, Matthew Smith, Brennan Johnson, Josh Sheehan, Dan James, Ravi Matondo, Johnny Williams, Tom Lawrence, Aaron Ramsey, and then these are slightly the forwards, I guess. So Harry Wilson, Kiefer Moore, Robson Kanu, Gareth Bale, and Leeds United, Tyler Roberts to finish it off. Very strong squad. 4 goalkeepers. We'll start off with that. Bit weird, I've got to be honest. I'm not sure what I think, because if you think about it, you're only going to have 2 playing. Then what do you think of the 4 goalkeepers? Is it a weird one?
It's a weird one, including 4 goalkeepers. I know most international teams go for usually 3 or 4, but I don't get why. I don't get why you don't chuck someone in there who you wouldn't expect, like someone like Jeffco. But I don't know why we need 4 goalkeepers. So not a great decision, but in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, I assume you all agree. 4 goalkeepers is a bit weird. Yeah, it's just an obvious one. Obviously, we'll just play Wayne Hennessy in one and then someone else in the other. Not really needed. But we'll move on because that's just an obvious discussion. Let's talk about the main players who have missed out. So, obviously, I'm going to come straight to you, Tom. Will Vokes. Why is he not being included? You tell me.
I would tell you if I knew, mate, but it's just a weird one, isn't it? Obviously, you look at that squad and you think that we are a little bit light on sort of defensive midfield options. Obviously, you got Allen and you got Ampadu, but then none of the others are particularly defensive, like Brennan, Josh Sheehan, Johnny Williams. They're all attack-minded players. And I think potentially Allen, obviously, we don't know if he is fully fit. He's been playing for Stoke, but he's still just coming back off a nasty long-term injury. So for me, I'd have had Vokes in there just as a bit of cover and protection against injury.
Jack, obviously you watch Cardiff City week in, week out, being the big supporter you are, and the Joe Allen lookalike, obviously. Why hasn't Will Vokes been included, and how good has he been for Cardiff City this season?
Well, where to start with Will Vokes? Like, his form has gradually got better and better through the season with Mick coming in as well. I think he's playing at possibly one of his best at the moment. So seeing him not on the squad is a big surprise to me. Obviously, there's other Cardiff players within this. So Will Vokes winding is a really big surprise. Tom Lawrence is in there, which I don't know, and 4 keepers as well, like you mentioned. Take one of them out. Will Vokes slot in? Anyone can slot in, but coming back to Vokes, I don't know. I'm really surprised. Hopefully they change that before the Euros, but I don't know. It could be unlikely. Maybe this is what they want to take into the Euros, so we might not even see Vokes then. But yeah, it's a big shame, really.
As a Cardiff fan myself, I'm quite confused by this, I got to be honest. Watching Will Vokes week in, week out, he's been top quality. He's obviously, we're on the fringe of playoffs. He's been playing at that playoff standard. And it's very weird that he's been left out. Ben, I'm going to come to you. Who would you change? Because with Will Vokes, who would you take out and then slot Will Vokes in? Would you take a goalkeeper out or would you take a midfielder out?
I think there are like 4 or 5 midfielders included in this squad that we could have taken out to put Vokes in. Like, I think he gets in over Morrell, Smith, Sheehan, Levitt, if not more. Like, and then again, like put him in over one of the goalkeepers. I don't understand it at all. I think out of all our midfielders, the ones like the Sheetons and that I've named, I think he gets in over all of them. So I don't understand that decision. That's the most surprising one for me over the whole squad announcement.
Yeah. Obviously, big miss for the boys. I think that's one of the main miss outs on the whole squad, to be honest. Lee, we're going to come to you for the next player, James Chester. He missed out. Playing for Stoke week in, week out. What do you think about that, being missed out of the squad?
I'm surprised he's not in there, to be honest. He's got so much more experience compared to the younger likes of Rodon and Metham. But you'd think those two are the main two that are going to start. So, I'm surprised, but do I see him playing? I'm going to say no.
Tom, what do you think? Obviously, Premier League experience over the past few years. Would you have put him in, or would you have left? What would you have done?
Obviously, as you mentioned, he's got Premier League experience with both Aston Villa and Hull. He's been with Stoke now for a few seasons. They're mid-table in the Championship. He's played like 3/4 of their games. I think you could make a reasonable argument for him being in the squad over Chris Gunter or James Lawrence, Tom Lockyer. Any of those three, really, you could swap out for Chester, and it wouldn't hurt the strength of the squad at all, really, in my eyes.
No. Obviously, that's just a little miss out. But the big one that I have noticed, and you boys know that I am not that happy about this, Luke Jeffco. I am wearing this colour for the Plymouth boys today. But how's he been left out? I do not understand it. Luke Jeffco had the season of his life at Plymouth, and he's been left out. And how Robson Kanu has been brought in instead of him. He has been so hard done by in this. I'm telling you now, maybe he'll be in like the under 21s, but come on. Ben, Luke Jeffco, rant to me, please. I need to hear this.
I think mine's going to be a rant. I understand it. I don't understand it, but I think he could have been included, but I don't think he gets in over some of the players. He's never played for Wales. Yes, he's having a good season, but I think it's the Euros. You want experience, I think. I don't necessarily think Robson Kanu was the right decision over him, but I think it's more just he's got experience and they've clearly gone for experience. I just think he needs to be tested before. And I know these are 3 games are the perfect time to give him that experience, but I don't think it's enough experience going into such a big tournament.
But how can you play how Robson Kanu's made a few substitute appearances since a big injury in November over a guy that has been firing on all cylinders every single week? I know it's got experience, but how can you give a guy who's hardly played any minutes over a guy that's played 90 minutes every single week since the start?
I think it literally just comes down to like they've gone for thinking with the experience. Like I don't think you get, like, if you think about it though, Jeff Cott's playing a lot more. He's getting goals, but I don't think it's the time. I don't think there's enough time to really mould him into the squad.
Right, let's think. If Kiefer Moore gets injured in a game, you're bringing Hal Robson Kanu on early. He's going to be blowing.
I think he's still all right. He's a professional footballer. He's still got enough in there, I think. He's got the experience for Wales. He knows what to do. I'd still put, if anything, I'd put Bale up front over most of them anyway, if Moore got injured. Or even David Brooks or Harry Wilson, to be honest.
David Brooks has been left out injured.
Yeah, to be fair.
Right, Jack, what do you think? Luke Jeffco, big miss. What are you saying? Do you think he should have been included? Maybe take a goalkeeper out?
I definitely think a goalkeeper should be taken out. But after what Ben said, that has turned the table a bit for me, Blair. Like, obviously he has no experience, whatever. But obviously this ain't the Euro squad. So seeing Luke Jeffco play, if he plays poorly, then we know he's not good enough for the Euros. I would have liked to have seen that, but obviously, no, they haven't taken that chance. But for example, like, we've seen the likes of Will Vokes haven't been in. So the likelihood of Luke Jeffco is like, Will Vokes is probably here, with like the squad placement. He's like that far off. Like Jeffco's probably done you. Do you know what I mean? He's off screen. So I don't think he's anywhere in the talking stage of being in the squad. So I kind of agree with Ben, but I don't. I would have loved to have seen him play, honestly, personally. But I can see why they didn't choose him. But hey, I can't decide anyway. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing, I guess.
Obviously, Tom, Ben makes a very good point. You look at the squad and you can see that they've gone with experience. But looking at how Robson Kanu in all his appearances this season, he hasn't played much football. Do you prefer time and how much football they've played over the experience? Because obviously we look at Luke Jeffcott, played week in, week out, played 90 minutes here. He's as fit as a flea, this guy. How Robson Kanu plays minutes every week. What do you think? Who would you have rather gone with?
Jeffco every day. You say Robson Kanu has been playing minutes every week. There's also one other thing we need to look at. He hasn't scored a goal in the league all season. He hasn't scored.
That's just because West Brom are crap.
Jeffcott's got 16 goals this season.
In League Two, though.
I don't care if it's in League Two. He's someone that's actually firing in form, scoring goals. You don't have to play him against Belgium or the Czech Republic, but give him a chance against Mexico. See if he can prove to himself and to other people that he deserves to be in the squad for the Euros. Robson Kanu hasn't scored a goal in the league all season. He scored 3 goals. They're all in the EFL Cup against who the hell, I don't even know. But just get Jeffco in there over Robson Kanu.
Lee, confidence. Let's talk about the confidence. How Robson Kanu, like Tom said, hasn't scored a league goal all season. Luke Jeffcott scored 16, 17. I'm not even sure how many it is now. The confidence side of it, the confidence side of his game. What do you think? Do you think Luke Jeffcott should have been added just because he knows where the goal is this season?
Yeah, exactly that. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're confident, you know where the back of the net is. Robson Kanu, he hasn't scored. I don't see him scoring at the Euros if he gets selected. And I'm going to go back to experience again. Experience is all well and good, but it's all about form. And you look at some of the players now, Wayne Hennessy, Gareth Bale, Joe Allen, Aaron Ramsey, they played in the tournament 5 years ago. They've got the experience. They're the experienced members of the squad now. Sorry, Hal, but for me, you're out of here. Jeffco, in you come.
I agree. And Ben, I'm going to come back to you for the last word, right? How Robson Kanu retired from international football. Okay. Is his head even in it?
Yeah, 100%. If you're selected to play for your country, you're committed. And also, I think, if anything, I would personally put Doigen over Jeffco if there was a choice between the two, purely for the fact, I think the SPL, although it's not as competitive as maybe the English leagues, I still think Doige has got that presence. If you need someone like a Kiefer Moore in the box, I think you'd prefer Doige there rather than Jeffco. And I just don't think, I think it's too big a step up for Jeffco. It's too big a step up to come into a European Championship.
You could have played him against Mexico. You could have played him against Mexico and just given him the chance to prove to people that he could play at this level.
I really hope Hal scores a hat-trick against Mexico.
Even if they play Kiefer Moore, they're going to play Kiefer Moore in the other ones. How Robson Kanu in the friendly, just swap him around at half time. Take a goalkeeper out, bring Luke Jeffco in, swap around at half time, see what happens. And obviously, I love Robson Kanu, don't get me wrong. But this time in their careers, for confidence, form, where their head's at, for me, it's all day long Luke Jeffco. Robson Kanu, retired from international football. His head might not be in it. Hasn't scored in the league all season. It's a clear and obvious Luke Jeffco. But obviously, not everyone agrees. Right. Next on the agenda was the players that have been included. And Robson Kanu was on my list to talk about. But I've got to be honest, I think we've covered it. So let's just skip over Robson Kanu. We're going to talk about Tom Lawrence. I don't know if he should have been included this time. I've got to be honest. He's obviously a very well-experienced player for Wales. But Ben, should Tom Lawrence have been included in this squad?
quick answer, no. But given that I know that Rob Page has said that Ryan Giggs was involved, I do kind of get it in that, again, it's another, like, he's part of the setup again. He may not be getting enough minutes in the squad, like, in with Derby, but I think it would definitely, he's another one where players could have got in over him. And I don't think he'll even really play. And if he does, it might just literally just be against Mexico. But that's another one where I'm a bit like that. So I kind of get it, but I kind of don't.
Jack, do you think Tom Lawrence should have been left out and Will Vokes take his place? Obviously, different positions, but have we got enough cover in the wide positions? And does Tom Lawrence offer something different to the wide players that we have now?
See, I don't think Tom Lawrence should be in it. Do we have enough support on the wings? Obviously, with the injury of Brooks, he's not in there, so that's another one off. But I believe Matondo's in there. Obviously, you've got Gareth Bale. Hi Wilson can jump on the wing. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to be biased or anything, but I do think Will Vokes should have had the opportunity and not Tom Lawrence. But yeah, like Ben said, well, I think Giggs, he definitely has, he's had his opinion in on Tom Lawrence being in on the squad. And without his opinion, I don't think he would have been if it was just Rob Page. I think Will Vokes might have snuck in. But yeah, the positions change this, so they might have chose someone else. I'm a little bit disappointed, but hey, I want to be proven wrong. And hey, you never know, against Belgium, he could do something. He could do anything. Oh, against Mexico, any of the games. So if I get proven wrong, then yeah, he deserves a spot. Simple as.
What you just said there is exactly what I'm about to say. I want to be proven wrong. We go back to how Robson Kanu. I hope he scores a hat-trick against Belgium. I hope he goes fires in every single game, scores at least 20 goals in these 3 games and proves me completely wrong. I hope that happens. But anyway, Lee, do you think Tom Lawrence offers something completely different to the other wide players that we have at the moment?
For me, no. I don't see him playing. You got Dan James there. You got Harry Wilson. If Brooks was fit, he would be playing as well. He's got the experience, yeah, but I'm going back to what I said earlier. I don't think it's needed. We've got the experience from the best players, and yeah, for me, it's the younger players that need to shine rather than the experienced ones.
Tom, Jack said something about how Ryan Giggs has had a big impact on the squad this time. Do you think if it was Rob Page, Tom Lawrence would have been included still, or do you think someone like Will Vokes would have taken his place?
It's a tough one. It is, because I think that a big part of the reason why Lawrence has been included is actually the injury to David Brooks. I think if Brooks was fit, you wouldn't see Lawrence in this squad. However, the thing that concerns me, regardless of if it's Giggs' decision, Page's decision, Tom Lawrence hasn't played a game for Derby since December. We're in the middle of March now. Do you really think in a match situation, say people are injured and he has to play, he's not going to be fit to play 90 minutes when he hasn't played for 3 months? For me, it's another one that he could have been left out for someone, Vokes, Jeffco, just anyone that I don't think Tom Lawrence offers anything. I don't know why he's there.
However, Brennan Johnson is in the squad, boys. Oh, come on. Tom Lawrence, out you go. Brennan Johnson, in he comes. He's the new wave of talent for Wales. My Nottingham Forest shirt will be arriving in the next few days. Next podcast, Nottingham Forest, I'll be repping for you boys. Anyway, we'll go on to Levitt, obviously included in the squad. Ben, I know you've got a big opinion on this. Imagine my surprise. What do you think?
There's much to say about this one. This one, I think, is one where he should have been left to the under-21 side. He's made 5 appearances for Wales. So, he's, again, being part of the setup. But he's now on loan from Man United in the Croatian League. He only made his debut, 2 days ago. So, not played, a lot this season. He may have been part of their youth sides in the, during the early stages of the season. But, again, he 100%... Volks, how he didn't make it in over him, don't understand that one whatsoever. So I don't think there's much to say about Levitt. I think, well done to him for getting part of the Wales squad. I reckon he will play against Mexico because he played in the last few games. So I think we'll see him. What he'll do, how well he'll do, I don't know, but I don't think he should have been part of this squad.
I completely agree with you, to be honest. I don't know how they've left Will Vaulks out instead of him. A player that is playing on the fringe of playoffs, and you leave him out for a guy who's playing in what league? Was it?
The Croatian league.
Where has that come from? Jack, do you think that is fully Ryan Giggs? Do you think that's his call?
Well, it must be. It must be from Ryan Giggs. And I'm honestly so disappointed. Like Ben said, he should be in the under-21s team. I think that's great. That would be brilliant for him. Bring in Will Vaulks, simple as. Like, there's no other answer to that. I am quite gutted. But hey, I'm going to come back to it once more time. If I get proven wrong, I'm going to be celebrating. So, hey, prove me wrong, I'll be over the moon. So, yeah. But you got to prove me wrong, though. If not, then Will Vaulks should have been there.
Yeah, I have to agree. Don't know why Will Vaulks been left out. I will be crying over that one later. Anyway, we're going to move on quickly to Chris Gunter. Obviously, in the last round of games, he collected his 99th cap. And if he plays in any of these games, he will earn his 100th cap. Big round of applause for Mr. Chris Gunter, boys. Come on. What a Welsh legend he is. Do you think he plays, Ben? What do you think? Think he's in the squad for any of them?
I reckon he plays, if not a full game, then he'll play some minutes against Mexico. But that'll be it, just to get the 100th cap, I reckon.
Lee, do you think that was the right thing to do to bring Chris Gunter into these games, just to get his 100th cap?
Tough one to call. I'd say so, yeah, because it'd be quite harsh on him to not get his 100th cap. But going into the tournament, I don't see him starting at all. So I think it's good to get his 100th cap. Yeah, I think that's about it, to be honest.
Yeah. So those are the players that we briefly wanted to mention who have been left out and then included. What we're going to do now is we're going to quickly rate it out of 10 as to how strong we think the squad is. I will start off. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. I think defensively it's very solid. Midfield, you've got a lot of options, but you have missed out Will Vaulks, which takes it down to a 9. And then you look forward and you haven't got the likes of Luke Jeffco, which takes it down to an 8. I just think those two players missing out have just taken it down a whole level. But hopefully, like Jack said about 100 times, I hope I'll get proven wrong. I hope I'm celebrating a Levitt and obviously Robson Kanu hat-trick in both games, but we'll see. Ben, out of 10, what would you rate the squad?
Solid, I think a 9. I don't think there's much else to say. If Vaulks is in there, I think it'd be a 10.
Very interesting. Jack, what would you say out of 10?
I probably have to join you with 8 out of 10. Will Vaulks is a big blow, but look at all the other players that are there. It's brilliant. Brennan as well, getting his spot, which I'm so chuffed. So yeah, I'm going to go with 8 out of 10.
Tom, what do you think?
For all my complaining, I do actually quite like the squad. It is quite strong. I'll probably give it a 7.5 purely because I think we've gone too much with experience and not enough with players that are actually in form. With the likes of Tom Lawrence and Robson Kanu. So yeah, 7.5.
Lee, finish it off with you. What would you give it? Out of 10, what are you saying?
For me, it has to be a 7. I knock off 3 points for 4 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
This one's a bit harsh, but no David Brooks. He's injured, so that knocks it down anyway. And obviously the big one, Luke Jeffco, not being in the squad.
Very good point. Obviously, we're going to miss David Brooks, so great deal. And then we are going to finish it off with a quick score predictions. We're literally just going to whip it around quickly. We start off with Belgium in a crucial, the biggest World Cup qualifier on the 24th of March. I don't know what to say. I'm going to go 2-1 Wales. Come on, boys. Ben, what are you saying?
I think that's the thing. I think this is the game of all the qualifiers that's going to be the hardest. So I think we'll struggle, but I think we'll get a goal. So I think it'll be 2-1 Belgium.
Jack, what are you saying?
It's going to be such an exciting game. But my hopes are not high. I think it's going to be possibly a 2-0 loss to us. but I don't want to see that, but I think it's going to be 2-0. 2-0 Belgium.
I hope not. Tom.
I hope I'm wrong. Hey, I hope I'm wrong, but for the predictions, 2-0.
Tom.
It's going to be tough. As you and Ben have both said, I think we will get a goal. Can't see us keeping Belgium out. 1-1 draw.
Obviously, over the last few years, we've had a very good record over Belgium. 2016, that's all I need to say. Lee, do you think it's a repeat of 2016?
Well, I got 2 for this. My actual prediction is 2-0 Belgium, but my heart says 3-1.
The Belgium.
No, 3-1 Wales, as in a repeat.
Hey, I'll agree with that. Mine's the same as Lee's, right? Mine's the same as Lee's. I'll agree with that.
If Robson Kanu scores a goal against Belgium, Ben will be getting a £10 free bet on Sky Bet. You've heard it here first. We'll move on.
Spins the Belgian defence like Robson Kanu did in Euro 2016. Then
it's not happening. We'll move on to the next one against Mexico on the 27th. It's a friendly, obviously. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Wales. Ben, what are you saying?
Similar to the America game, actually. I think a lot of youth, a lot of the youth in the squad will play, the ones who don't get enough, but I think it could be 0-0, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine it being a tight game with not many goals. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many goals, but I'm going to have to go 0-0, same as Ben. Yeah.
Tom, Lee, you saying a big score or keeping it simple?
I'm going to go for a 1-0 Wales win.
1-1 draw for me.
And then to round the games off, we finished with Czech Republic on the 30th of March. So obviously it's only a 6-day swing, 3 games in 6 days. It's very tight. It's a World Cup qualifier as well. Czech Republic, we do really need to win that one. I'll say a 1-0. I'll say 1-0 Wales. Ben, who you say?
I think we'll come out all guns swinging with this one. Our best team will be out. I think it'll be 3-1 Wales.
Jack?
I agree. I think we'd be going all out. Obviously, you want to end on high. I'm going to say 2-1 Wales.
Tom?
I want to see some goals. 4-1 Wales.
Oh, Ben Evans not with the weirdest predictions of the week. Wow. Lee, finish the episode off. What are you saying? Score prediction against Czech Republic.
I'll keep it simple this week. 2-0 Wales, Gareth Bale and Kiefer Moore.
Oh, we're even getting goal scorers. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us this week on the squad announcement. We might bring you another podcast. We might not. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed. From me, Ben Thomas, goodbye. From Ben Evans.
Bye.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Go on, Tom, Lee, go on.
See you soon, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.